Good afternoon, everybody, here on November 4th, 2023. Thank you for coming to Trading Within the Box. First of all, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, or sell any stocks, options, equities, futures, or Forex. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase stocks, please contact a licensed professional or the brokerage house of your choice, and they will help you execute there on trades. This is educational video only, teaching charts here and patterns. Okay, so let's get to it. Went through stocks the other day here. We're going to start off again. We're going to go over them again, and we're going to look at weeklies here. Okay, so let's first, before we do Tesla, let's go over to the S&P 500 now. On the S&P 500, we have a straight-up move, okay? Let's go to the weekly, because now we're done with the week, and we want to know what's happening if we're going to get a trend change here, okay? So we have incredible volume on the weekly chart here. Now we have increasing volume. Look at this week by week by week here. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks of increasing volume almost. Okay, so look at the engulfing on the weekly chart. Are we going to get a trend change here right now? Okay, usually what happens is we'll get a little bit of a move, then we'll get a pullback, and then we'll get the engulfing. Then we know we got the trend change. Okay, so we have a massive monster engulfing candlestick. Okay, and we have nice volume. Now we had a straight up move on the daily chart with excellent volume. Now let's go look at the last time we went up on the bottom. So not as huge as the last time we went up there. Look at in this area right here where my blue box is down here. Okay, now you see right in that area that the interest is not as strong as it was down here. Okay, and that was sometime in March, beginning of March. Okay, so that was right before the earnings in April. Now we're slamming right into resistance on the S&P 500 in the sell area. Okay, you're in a resistance area, so you have to wait for a little bit of a pullback here. Now you have nice volume going into these swing points right here. 2 days ago, let's pull the chart back so I can read the volume. We had on the November 2nd, we had 94.9 million shares, and then yesterday we had 100 million shares going into these swing points at 75 million and 81, and then the downdraft here on September 20th with 82 million. So we have strong volume going into these sell points. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. If we're going to, the way we'll know is we'll manage it on the 2-hour chart. Now watch the 2-hour chart, how strong this move is right here. Okay, I just want to show you something. Step patterns engulfing. Okay, then a strong bull, well, it's not a bull run, but it's a bull run for a day or two right there, and the pre-market too. Go up to resistance area, hold. Now if this was weak, we would have sold off. Okay, this is strong. Another engulfing with the step pattern up. When you get these steps like stairs, that's strong, that's strength. Now you have a little selling that came in at the end of the day here, okay, on the S&P 500. So let's see what happens in resistance. We're in resistance right now. 45-minute chart. Right here we have a little bit of a seller coming in here. Okay, let's see. Now we have the step pattern right here. Now, when we had the step pattern here, there were no sellers. There's a little bit of a sellers coming in, sure, of course, because we're in resistance. We're not selling off. We want to see if we're going to pull back. Okay, so that's the story there with the S&P 500. Let's go over to Tesla right now. With Tesla, we'll go to a weekly chart, because there's the end of the week, and we always like to see at the end of the week what's really happening with the 25 to 30,000 foot view from the sky and what's happening here. Now on Tesla, we had really nice buying volume, but we're under the 20-day moving average, and we have a lot of pressure at 232 to 233. Okay, right now it's 219.96. We closed at the week. Okay, on November 4th here. Okay, we're at a little bit of a support area, and let's see when what we did say about Tesla was we were going to tag. Remember what I said? We're going to tag the 20-day moving average, and the profit's going to be taken there. Okay, let's see now if you get this kind of thing here. Okay, you got a 9-day moving average right there. You just drift back and hold, and then you get a candlestick that looks like either this or like this right here, you're off to the races to 248.50, and then we could have a trend change here, okay, to the long side. But we don't know yet. Why? Because right now we're slammed right into resistance, okay? As we look at the lower time frames, we can see exactly what they're doing. They pop their head above resistance on the 2-hour chart and holding, though, okay? They're holding, though. So we'll see what happens if we can get up to 230.16 here. And that very, very well can happen. Or we can get a little bit of a pullback, small pullback. We'll know with the volume as we pull back with Tesla at one point. Remember, Tesla's a power stock, but it's struggling to get off the bottom here, okay? Let's see what they do. Let's see exactly. All right, let's go over we went over American Express the other day, and let's go over the weekly chart first because we're at the end of the week. And what do? Remember, we go to the weekly chart to see the 25 to 30,000 foot view to see what's happening. We have a huge bullish candlestick, okay? Now, if we get something, let me explain something to everybody here. If we get something like this on American Express, okay, we get this, and then we get a little bit of a pullback and we hold them. We start heading up and we go above this moving average and then come back to this moving average, and then boom, we're off to the races to an uptrend. And that is what? That's a reversal bullish head and shoulders pattern, okay? That's a bullish, and you had one right here. Look at this one right here. Boom. You draw the neckline, you measure from here to here, and that's how high you're going. Okay? Not always. Nothing's exact except for death and taxes. Okay? So that's the story with that. So we have to see. That's going to be important change of events on American Express as we move into November here. Now, on a daily chart, as you break this down, if you were down here at support at 142, 143, you're taking profits in this 152 range, okay? You're taking profits because you're in resistance and you're going to the downdraft with much, much lighter volume. So when this pulls back, because we have a doji, okay? When this pulls back, we get the pullback, and then we get the engulfing with good volume, then we're on a trend change, okay? And then we could just follow it up on the smaller time frame. Apple, let's go over Apple because I got to move through this quick because we have a lot to go over here, and we're trying to go over everything that we went over the other day with, okay? Right now on Apple. Okay, so Apple had earnings, and we said in the video the last time when we were talking about Apple, it was the day of the earnings. I wanted to see what they were going to do. Now, what are they doing? Right now, they're buying Apple, okay? So now on Apple, we want to really, really look to see what's happening here, okay? We could get a trend change here. Now look at the increasing volume, okay? We need the clues. How are we going to know what's happening, okay? Increasing volume on Apple, okay? But remember, you have overhead pressure right here at 180.18. Right now, closed at the week at 176.65. Let's go to 2-hour chart. Now on the 2-hour chart, we're coming into this downdraft with stronger volume, okay? That was an aftermarket sell-off, okay? That was an aftermarket sell-off when the market had closed on November 2nd, okay? We came back, and now we're moving into this range. Now, we're moving in with good volume here. Look at the volume. Look at the buyers, okay? Right now, there's no sellers. Right into this trading within the box, we got to get out of this box. We want to pull back, and then boom. We want to see if we're going to head up, okay? And then let's go over to the 45-minute chart here, and let's see exactly what's happening, okay? So we could pull a little back, and then we want to get the run again, okay? So that's what we're looking for on the 45-minute chart on Apple, okay? Weekly chart. As we go to the weekly chart, look at the channel on the way down, okay? The long-term view of Apple, look at the channel on the way down. Now on Apple, we could get this kind of thing pop up and then fail again, and then come back down and test the support area at the major buy area of 166.62, okay? Let's see, but that could be weeks away. That could be like one more week, 2, 3, 4, could be like 4 weeks away from that, okay? Even possibly even 5 weeks away, but we don't know. We don't have a crystal ball, okay? Let's just see on the 4-hour chart right now. We got some good buying on Apple. But the problem with Apple is we got to get past this point, okay? We got to get past this area right here, okay? We have resistance at 177.64. We got to get past. Now, you don't want to buy into resistance, okay? You're far away from the moving average. You want to kind of pull back and then get the engulfing, then get volume like this increasing, and then you could start heading up. So you have to be careful. Always be careful in a market like this, because you get 1 ounce of bad news and we got trouble in paradise on the way, okay? So let's go to Home Depot. It's really fast. Let's go over to Home Depot. Came off support, and now let's look at the weekly chart, because we always want to look at the weekly chart at the end of the week, okay? Now we get a huge velocity candlestick. So now put your eyes back here, okay? We had the same, we came off the bottom. You always get this retesting thing. This is weeks. Each one of these candlesticks is weeks. Huge engulfing candlestick. Look, put your eyes now to the right. Huge engulfing candlestick, okay? Now the last time this engulfed, okay, we didn't have much volume here. This engulfed here with good volume, okay? We're pointing up, but we're not in the sweet spot right there, okay? We're not in the sweet spot yet, okay? So we're not out of the woods. Home Depot. Remember what I said, that you're going to get a nice covering on Home Depot as it was coming down and didn't cover, okay? You have earnings on November 14th, so shares should be off the table right before then, okay? Now, on Home Depot, we got the move, we got up and above. Now, we want to see the power move here. We want to see it hold right here at support at the 20-day moving average, and then an engulfing, okay? And then we want to get past the 300.67 range, and then we're off to 316.66. Okay, right now, close at 295.61. That's what we want to see on Home Depot. Okay, so now let's go over to Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola was something that we were going over to. Let's go over weekly chart first on Coca-Cola, and we got overhead resistance right here. So you're going into resistance area of 57.84, but you have increasing volume on the weekly chart. Okay, we could be getting trend changing here. Okay, for November. Okay. And remember the 58.29 on the daily chart. So you could come back and you could teeth your way up to this level here. So you got to be very careful in that spot. Let it pull back, and then we get the engulfing. So let's go over the 2-hour chart really quick, because we want to break down and see exactly what's happening as we're reaching the resistance area and what's happening here. We got some. Look at this. Look at the profit takers. The profit takers take profits in the resistance areas, okay? So right now we have some sellers, small amount of sellers up here in this spot. Let's see what happens thereafter, okay? Let's go to McDonald's. On McDonald's, we're slamming right into resistance, okay? It's not a surprise, okay? So look at what we had going on here. Now look at the retest W's, okay? The retest, that's what we want to always see. We had a slanted to the right one here, but then we wait to come up, slam right into support, come up, look at your retest W right here, and there, right there, and then boom, and look at the volume. Right there is where they retested, and then they came in, they kicked it in, okay? Okay, they kicked it in right there. So let's go back to the candlesticks, and we're right into that spot there. Let's go to weekly chart of McDonald's, and we do have weekly resistance at 272. Okay, so that's something that we have to be careful at 272. Okay, we're going to look to, that's an opportunity. So we get up and above here, we pull back a little bit. We want the opportunity. Now this is a step pattern. Okay. Let's go to the 45-minute chart. This is a step pattern, okay? Look at the steps, how strong they are, okay? How strong they are. Let's go over to the 2-hour chart. You can see it a little bit better. We come back to support, and they're constantly buying off support, buying off support, buying off support. Now we're in resistance and get the dojis. So when you see the dojis up in resistance, what does that say? What does that tell you as you're reading into it? You see the little dojis, okay, there's no buyers here. It can't push up yet, okay? You'll see, look at the little ones here in the pre-market, okay? And then in the pre-market, aftermarket. Then the pre-market right here, you come to support and boom, they're buying right off of it, okay? Now, you come up and you want to see if there are sellers here, and you see a little bit of reversal candlesticks, but it holds, and then you got some nice volume come in. So you know you're still going up, okay? So you still know you're going up on McDonald's at that point, okay? So that's something that if you're in McDonald's, you're slam. Let's say I'm in McDonald's. I didn't get it down here. Let's say I got it around here somewhere. 256.03. I go up to resistance. I take some of it off because I already made my money. It pulled back. I want to try to get back in on the two tweezer. Now, let me explain something to everybody here about this setup right here, okay? When you see this in an uptrend and you get two little tweezers right here, capitulation candlesticks together, that means they are not selling right here, okay? Especially if you see it on the daily chart. Okay, if you see two tweezers in an uptrend, like it doesn't matter what color the bars are, you're going up. Okay, so that's my signal right there. Boom. Now I'm back in. Okay, and then I take my profits off at 266 or whatever, or 267, because I know I have resistance right there. So I pull the bread off. I want to wait for another pullback. And then it'll make another run towards the resistance to test it. If it fails, then we're coming back down. If it holds and then goes up, we're going to 275.16 on McDonald's. Okay. Microsoft, MSFT. Let's see how much more time we have here. Okay, we have a little bit more time, about 10 minutes. Okay, so on Microsoft, we're smacked right into the resistance line. Let's go over to the weekly chart. And this is not a surprise. Okay. Now, on Microsoft here, if you own Microsoft, you're looking good. Okay. Now, this was on July 17th, you're going into the strength area. Now, what I always say, okay, don't worry about my numbers here. Those were order flow numbers, okay? What did I always say? Now, on the weekly support levels, okay, those are the strongest in the world, okay? As well, the monthlies are too. But right here, 314.77, monster buy area. Now, they'll drop you out to scare the hell out of you to get you out. And you have a lot of your shares on it, it'll scare you down to 309, and you start selling, then boom, the next week it goes up. Okay, now you have a W formation here. Okay, now let's look at something here. On Microsoft, you're going into July 17th candlestick, which was a huge reversal candlestick at 228 million shares. You're already closed in with 147 million shares, okay? So you're coming into this area with lighter volume again here. You're coming in with lighter volume, going into 228, 147. So even though you have a monster sideways consolidation and then a huge buy, boom, right there. Let's see if we're going to get past this spot at 366.24. Okay, so that's something you're going to have to look at because it doesn't have tons of strength. Going up into it could pass it with lighter volume. Now, if it passes it, it makes a new high. Look out. I'm telling you right there. Okay. So look how strong Microsoft has been. Okay. We came down, higher lows, buy signal, sideways consolidate. These are the best. Sideways consolidation. Okay. Right here. Take your ruler out, measure it, and that's how high you're usually going. Okay. Because now, if you had a sideways consolidation and you get something like this, then you know you're going down to here, okay? But that's not what happened here. So as you're watching it, you even just put an alert right there, an alert. Boom, now you're watching it, okay? The alert goes to your phone or wherever you got it set up to on your computer, and it beeps, and you put your alert right in that spot right there, okay? Right there. You could even set it up on TradingView. It's a great site right there. You could add your alert. Boom. Put my alert right there. See it with the line? Okay. I'm going to put my alert because I want to know right there what's going to happen. Okay. If it crosses that spot. Okay. I could delete the alert too. Okay. So that's something that if you're working and you're busy, that's what you want to know if you're going to get the buying or the selling off that sideways consolidation. So now you have resistance at 355.28. So let's see what they do in this area. Let's go over to 45-minute chart on Microsoft and we still have some good buyers here, okay? We have slightly profit taking going into the weekend, but that's nothing, okay? We're holding in the aftermarket, holding the support line, okay? So let's see if they make another run. Let's see if they make another run at this, okay? And we could make a run with no problem. Now, when you have these high candlesticks right here in these areas from July 21st, they always go up and they test them like magnets. Okay, now I need to go to another stock here because we're running out of time. Remember, we were talking about Verizon. Let's go over to Verizon really quick. And Verizon, remember what I said about Verizon, okay? We had what? What do we have going on? We had, that's called accumulation. That's where they're building, the institutions are building stock, okay? You had earnings, and then you said, well, what's going to happen with the earnings? We're going to fall, or we're going to go, we wait, nothing, can't be in the earnings. Boom, right there. We go into resistance. We could wait. Now we wait, pull back, boom, engulfing, and then we close higher, and then we start heading up, and we're going to the next. Now we're in the resistance level right now at 36.02, so we need a pullback to possibly support, which is right around there, okay? So we need a pullback on Verizon in order to get back into this thing, okay? We had a beautiful weekly, incredible support line right there, and that's an incredible area at 30.79. Okay, those are the best buy points on the weekly support levels, okay? And here's the deal. We could be getting, what are we getting? A possible trend change here. We draw an imaginary 20-day moving average. We come back, boom, we got the engulfing. We get up to the next resistance level. The thing follows us up, and now we're in a trend change to the upside, okay? That's how we know. That's how we know it. Now, only I have about 5 more minutes here left. Let's go over to GDX with the gold miners and look at GDX. Now, we didn't know for sure if they were gonna, pull one of these, and then we had this, and then boom, down. No, that's not what they did. So that's why you have to watch every day. If you have 2 to 3 stocks, anything more than 3 stocks, I don't think you can watch it. Very, very hard to do. What do you got going on here? Now here's the deal. Here's the buy signal on GDX, the gold miners, okay? Now, look at the volume going into the swing point here, okay? So we have, right here, we have 44 million shares yesterday, okay? We're going into 29. We're going into 23. We're going into 21. We're going into 14, okay? And then we have downdrafts here with 23 and 38. So we will have a little bit of pressure here at 30.97. So, and look at this. This is a W formation right here. Boom, with an engulfing right there and a huge volume stick, okay? So let's watch it, okay? That's something now. We have a trend reversal here, okay? Now, on a 2-hour chart, we got to be careful because we're far away from the moving average. Because now that you know that that's what we're seeing, we want to watch it, see if the trend is going to hold. Okay, into resistance, pull back to support. Boom, another one right to 30.38. Boom, another one right to 31.23. Boom, right to 32.08. So that's something that we're going to have to watch now, okay? Now, in November last year, what happened to the gold stuff, remember? Okay, it went up. So that's when time of year this stuff starts to take off. Look at this. What do we got going on here? Now, if we pass this area, what do we got? We have a bullish head and shoulders pattern. Okay, we measure the bottom, 25.89. We go to the top, 30.01. Okay. So let's call it 3 points to be safe. Okay, we could be going to 33.93. Okay, not overnight, but I'm saying that's where we could be heading. Because that's the formation that we always talk about with the bullish head and shoulders. Okay. Let's go over to Duke Energy. Duke Energy, what do we got going on with Duke Energy? Now, Duke Energy, look at this. We got a retest W. We got a little retest W, then boom. We go right into resistance on Duke Energy. Now, on Duke Energy, let's look at the weekly chart. We have nice volume, but we're slamming into resistance with a little bit of a pullback here. Let's go over to the 2-hour chart. And what do we see? We have a little more profit taking with the sellers here coming in, okay? So let's see if we hold this, if it stops and then we start to fail, or is this going to hold and then we start going up again? Okay, let's see. We already had a nice move on Duke Energy, so that's something that you're going to have to watch and look at and follow. U.S. dollar. Let's go over to U.S. dollar, and we have a breakdown. Okay, now we have a breakdown. Remember what I said? We're up here with a distribution area here on the U.S. dollar. We had the bull run already. We had the bull run right there. And now, boom, we got a breakdown with a lot of selling volume. Okay, let's go over to the weekly chart now on the UUP. Okay, we have a pullback to the support line. Now we're getting ready for possible trend change here. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart and see if we have anything on the retest M formation. So we're going to be looking for an M, a little bit of M, and then the trend change. Okay, that's what we're going to be looking for on. And what does that mean for gold? Okay, dollar down, gold up, right? So that's something that we're going to have to look at. TLT, 20-year bond, and then we're going to have to wrap this up. Okay, and look at, okay, here we go. Now, I'm not saying this is going to trend change or anything like that, but look at the covering, because this thing got annihilated. It got destroyed so bad. What happened? Okay, we got a lot of buying coming in here too. A lot of covering, a lot of short covering. Look at that. Look at here. Look at this. Nobody home, right? As we went up here a little bit, nobody home. Then boom, right underneath the moving average into resistance. Sell signal. Bam. Now, hold on a second. Everybody screech, hold on, and take a deep breath. Do we have accumulation going on here? Okay. We got a pop. We got a pop. Let's see if this is a breakout failure, we come down. Okay. Let's just see what they're going to do there. Let's look at the banks really fast before we go. And on the banks, we have right here on the banks, we come right up into resistance. And we slam right in there, okay? Now we're going into this swing point with stronger volume, but we'll know if we're getting a reversal here on the banks, okay? That'll be good for the market to go back up and get back into an uptrend. We go slam right into resistance. We want to come back, okay? Then we want to come back, hold, and then we want to come up with increasing volume, going past this point, and now we have an uptrend, okay? For now, until maybe the middle of December or so, and then who knows, okay? Hold your horses for 2024. Not saying I have a crystal ball or anything, but I'm just letting everybody know to be careful out there, okay? If we get back up to the top of the range, it would be a very, very smart thing to pull your money off the table, possibly, okay? And then you could get into the short market. You can get into SDS. You could short the market, okay? And you don't even have to short it. This is a long position for a short. Now we're at support at the short position for the SDS, okay? For a bounce, okay? But let's see what they do. Now we're in a downtrend here for now. We're at support. So if you're in SDS, you're taking your profit from the short, okay? Because you're probably going to get this moving average and then come back. And then if you break this area, boom, S&P is going to go take off, okay? So with that said, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, subscribe my channel if you can. And I hope that this helps everybody.